Okie dokie.
Hey, good morning, or whenever you're watching this, it's daily Stoic time. And today's March 8th, and the title of today's entry is Don't Unintentionally Hand Over Your Freedom.
Don't unintentionally hand over your freedom. It makes me think of like boundary, something with boundaries or something. Like don't let your boundaries or set your boundaries, because all of a sudden you realize that some of your freedom is no longer available to you somehow.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Epictetus will lead us off this morning. His quote is, "If a person gave away your body to some passerby, you'd be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who comes along, so they may abuse you, leaving it disturbed and troubled. Have you no shame in that?"
Have you no shame in that? That's funny because that's kind of a funny joke, right? Because like he's making you actually feel like you're supposed to be shamed, and he's actually hijacking your mind right now by doing that.
Yeah, he's like illustrating
how it feels like being shamed by somebody else.
Or like he's illustrating like how easily you give your mind over to other people.
Yeah. Don't you have shame in that? Like, I kind of do. Right? Yeah, that's funny.
That's cool. Okay, Ryan's commentary. Are we ready for that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. I like what Epictetus said. Like, I kind of feel just like, preach it.
Yeah, preach it. And like, I wonder like how you can, let's see what Ryan has to say, because I'm interested in like, what are the tools to not take other people's opinions onto yourself.
Yeah, like reclaim your mind.
Reclaim your own thing.
Sounds good. Ryan says, "Instinctively, we protect our physical selves. We don't let people touch us, push us around, control where we go. But when it comes to the mind, we're less disciplined. Mm-hmm. We hand it over willingly to social media, to television, to what other people are doing, thinking, or saying. We sit down to work, and the next thing you know, we're browsing the internet. We sit down with our families, but within minutes, we have our phones out. We sit down peacefully in a park, but instead of looking inward, we're judging people as they pass by. We don't even know that we're doing this. We don't realize how much waste is in it, how inefficient and distracted it makes us. And what's worse, no one is making this happen. It's totally self-inflicted. To the Stoics, this is an abomination. They know that the world can control our bodies. We can be thrown in jail or be tossed about by the weather. But the mind, that's ours. We must protect it. Maintain control over your mind and perceptions, they'd say. It's your most prized possession."
So have control over your mind. That's also super broad. And then also it's like I'm missing the how. Is it based there? I did notice the like question the like being in the park, instead of looking inwards, you're looking outwards, judging people. So he's saying, do look inward, and that might be the tool, one of the tools to unintentionally handing over your freedom in a way that you're just addicted to these silly things like social media. And when I say you, I mean like general you, me included. I'm on the same boat, right? So it's like we're just like what? Yeah, there's this. I mean, that talking about social media, that's been proven. This is like I mean, it's dopamine releasing and like it's an actual thing, right? But like how do we how to do that,
So maybe we can
not do it. You're like, well, just don't do it. Well, that's, just stop it. Kind of.
Well, maybe what we can do is look at his description of the problem and try to reverse engineer a how that makes sense. So we handed over willingly to social media, to television. Maybe I'll put those both in the same category. That sounds like what you were just talking about, of like monitoring your addictions, like monitoring your habits, and understanding that is something you have control over. It is difficult to have to exert control over it. 100% absolutely difficult. That's why most people aren't doing it. Nevertheless, it is one thing you have control over. And there's a million things out there that you don't have control over, and they are out to destroy you. So better you just like get a handle on the things that are within your grasp. And when it comes to social media and television, I think there's a lot that you can do by understanding the mechanisms of habit creation. Like the more you inform yourself on that, like James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, was really, really helpful to me in that regard, and has really helped with our morning routine and getting a lot of things. And I feel like that has produced a lot of positive downstream effects just by getting morning routines in better shape. And I'm spending less time on social media and television. There are still times where I find myself in a scrolling kind of binge, let's say. And then when I notice it, I notice it, and I'm at a point now where I usually am like, something else seems more valuable or better to do with my time, so I will abandon ship, unless I'm just like really tired. In which case I'll just keep doing it.
It's a very thin line from, hey, I just want to enjoy a little bit of social media, to this is now a habit and I'm doing it almost without any thinking about it. I'm just find yourself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then you go, oh my god, I'm scrolling. Okay, well, that's a good mechanism to get yourself back to not doing it. But where is that point of like, well, I do want to check something, right? And then stop before it becomes this never ending. And that is, I think that would be the most perfect way of using that technology, and have your boundaries, your freedoms not being stolen. But that is being on that, it's like surfing. It's like you're right on that edge of that wave of like, I'm about to fall over, or I'm not gonna know enough. Right. Yeah.
And I think it is like kind of what you're saying, where like the mechanism by which that happens is like you're scrolling, it's bad for you, you don't realize it's bad for you, then you have a flash of insight of like, oh my god, what am I doing? And then the next time you come to your phone, it happens again. And the timing of it just kind of joins more up, so that if that is your intention as a person, like, hey, I want to claim control over what is actually mine, I think that mechanism will happen naturally over time. You just have to be clear that I'm trying to turn into a person who has these boundaries.
Yeah, and then not feeling bad also when it does happen. Don't keep punishing yourself, right? Like, if you end up doing it, you're like, oh, I did it again. Okay, fine. Let's not do that. Yeah, because a lot of times I hold myself like.
You judge yourself.
I judge myself after. Yeah.
And I wonder, in some way, is that also you giving your freedom away?
Of course, yeah. Because now I'm in my own labyrinth or maze.
Because he describes it as like, well, if you sit in the park and you judge other people, but what if you're sitting in the park judging yourself? Right. Is that also robbing? It seems to me like it is.
Yep. that's you are robbing yourself of your own freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a good one. Yeah, your own. Don't be a thief of your own freedom or something.
Yeah, like when you're punishing yourself for not being good enough in some way or not measuring up to some idea you have inside, then yeah. There's just one more thing. 10 minutes. That's cool. Okay, I thought we were talking a lot longer. We said we would do these videos for like 5 to 15 minutes, and then our last 2 videos were 20 minutes. And we were like, oh man, I don't know if it matters. So he's also saying that we hand it over willingly to what other people are doing, thinking, or saying.
Right, so you're just following people because they are doing something that they sell you as like, hey, this is the latest and greatest thing to do, and you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go do that. Like, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm seeing it. Is like you just blindly follow a trend. Let's say, oh, I need to have this new X, Y, and Z thing, and now you essentially maybe wasting resources on things that you actually don't need.
So you mean like you're like following like groupthink or something?
Group thinking of like, yeah, just
because I think this is also
I'm just thinking about like buying things, like purchasing things because others have purchased it, like.
And I would say it's like it is that, and it's like maybe also broader than that, like concerning yourself with what other people are doing. So like that does sound to me like kind of what you're talking about, but it also sounds to me like, if you have like a person that you're keeping tabs on and you're like following what they're doing because you like have some competition with them, or you have some jealousy or envy with them, and so you're just like wrapped up in what these other or they're not accepting you and you're afraid you're going to be like ostracized from a group, so you're like, crap, I need to like follow these people
and do oh, hey, person X got a big TV. My friend got a big giant TV. Oh, we need to now buy a big TV because we need to be at that same. So like this is, and now you're like, wait, hold on, should I even have a TV? Like that never even crosses your mind. You're so into this, like, oh, all my friends are getting big TVs. I'm getting a big TV. All my friends are going on vacations. Honey, I think we should go on vacation. Like it's not about the like, hey, how are we feeling? Should we take a break? right? It's more of that, Yeah, and not then, following the group thinking.
Yeah, and then the group, and then thinking with the group is like, maybe opinions, like points of views. Like you kind of end up becoming like the people you spend a lot of time with, and so you might, if you're concerned with what they're thinking. Also, this makes me think not just what they're thinking about the world, but what they're thinking about you, because most of us are obsessed with what other people are thinking about us.
Yes.
So that's a big one to
I
pull
as
away
like a
from.
researcher, I'm like interested in like what are they thinking about themselves, right? That's even like one step further into like I wonder what those people, like how are they in themselves when they are only following these group
sure thinking. And there may be some utility in that for you, like that may not be you giving your freedom away to that style of thinking, because you are like doing it for like this research kind of this interest of like like I'm so interested in how this is versus like I'm crippled by the idea that somebody doesn't like me.
Wow. It seems like this one is very like tree-like, like tree branches. It goes into like many different aspects of life or something.
Yeah. Oh, and the last one on here is saying. So like, you know, just like gossip and stuff. Like
Gossips,
you want to
yeah.
know, like you want to like talk to that person and like get like, like I want to know, you know.
So you're saying exercise the, I don't need to know that.
I mean, where is the line when I'm thinking about some of this stuff? I'm thinking about like, well, where is the line from like being connected to your community? Like, because we do need each other and we need to have connection with each other as social animals versus not letting it rob you of your freedom as an individual. I think that's like probably a balance. Like, that's the balance we're all bad at striking. Is like we want to be connected to each other, but we involve ourselves in each other's lives in ways where we give away our freedom. So I don't know.
Yeah, a good thing to think about for a little bit, you know, just have that concept in your head, and like it's nice to it's nice to have that mull over, even though it's uncomfortable, because we're doing these things all the time of like giving our freedoms out, or even like sabotaging our own freedoms internally. I'll be like I'm doing it, like that sucks, but it's good to like okay, I am doing it, like right, like just going through that versus like no, I'm not doing it, no, life is great, look. Like, no dude, we're doing it, we're constantly doing it, and what we don't do is we don't sit down and talk about it and think about it. So this is why I like these sessions.
All right, we'll see you here tomorrow.